Is Leah Muhlenfeld. She is someone that Ashley at Studio 23 introduced us to. She's one of the, she's the head of the board.
Chair of the board.
The chair of the board here at Studio 23. And she's also one of those people that you just sort of meet and you instantly are like, have we always been best friends or did we just meet? Which is a really magical thing. And she's also one of those people that after the end of every conversation, you're sort of like, why didn't we record this? You just said so many incredible things in like 13 minutes and you blew my mind. And she's been really awesome and supportive since we first hatched this idea, and she didn't even know us and then was like, yes, I'm totally on board, which was really cool. And so she is an all-around marketing powerhouse, and she is here to help you guys take all of this amazing information that is just been input into your brain and help you figure out, you know, what are you going to do with it? So I'm going to let Leah take it away.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. So literally, now what? We have all been here today getting so many awesome stories, meeting new people, learning new things. I just came from a contracts class. I'm a little worried that everything is not contractually correct that I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. But what I really want to take a minute to do is congratulate each of you for taking today. As a small business owner, as a mother of 4, as a human, taking time for yourself, no matter where you are in your arc of your business, is really hard. There are a lot of people demanding things of you. You're trying to get the bills paid. So I just want to take a little second and look to your neighbor and say, you rock. Thanks for getting here. Like, no one else is going to do it for you, right? Like, woo, me! You got to do it for you. So it's nice to hear it from your friends. So it's so much fun. We'll just keep doing that. So we're here to talk about marketing. I mean, don't you want to think more? Now it's the end of the day. I think where this starts to get exciting is that marketing in general to me the word is boring, and I tried to talk myself out of being a marketer my whole career. Like, since I left school in Texas in 2000 and I went into advertising, I'm like, for sure, this is not what I'm going to do with my life. It feels cheap. It feels not real. It feels like I don't have a real connection. And as my years went on, and I went from agency to client side to opening a small business to back to an agency to being a mom, you start to realize that you actually have a skill set and it helps people. And that's when you start to go, okay, wait, marketing maybe isn't so bad. And it's just the great mix of art and science. So that has really helped me shift how I look at what marketing can do for my business, for my client's business. And when you take out that stuffy business school type of thing and just kind of make it real and stuff that you're passionate about. Art is one of these things that I love. I am a board member here at Studio 23 because they really want to make art part of the everyday community. They want to give people access to it. And same with science, like so many questions. I like the digital aspect of getting results. So once I start kind of looking at marketing a little bit differently, and maybe you guys too can go, okay, wait, we can do this for ourselves. So in marketing, the first thing that people want to talk about are tactics. And you can't see them very well, but this is your glitter. This is your website and your Instagram, and they want to talk about the tactics. It's how you attract the people you want to talk to. But it's really the worst place ever to start when you're talking about marketing. And then you have who's your target audience? Everyone. I have the best thing ever. I want to help everybody. No, you don't. This is where we're going to go back to that boring business plan that you probably did, or hopefully did, maybe did, before you started your business. And there's a giant section talking about marketing. And it's really asking you the hard questions about who you're building this business for, who you're going to service, how are you going to get their attention. And once you kind of decide, okay, glitter and everyone are like fun and cool, but maybe not the road I need to go down, what I want to talk to you about is what you should be thinking about marketing. And this is going to be a little bit more introspective for a moment, but we'll get to some other stuff. So your brand. Each of you have spent time naming your business, probably developing a logo, really creating that experience with your client. It means something. It's really worth something. But a lot of times when I meet with businesses, even when they have that stuff, they're missing a little bit of that core, that soul to their company that can help differentiate. And I love today being in Elizabeth's class and even Jim earlier. A lot of these questions are the same. Like, no matter where you are in your business, you're gonna have to ask yourself some serious questions. And these are the 3 core questions. Who are you as a company, as a brand? What do you do? And why does it matter? The first 2 are pretty easy, thankfully, hopefully. Number 3, though, that is where you differentiate yourself from everybody else in your competitive space, on your block of how you explain what you do, when you're talking to a client who could spend money over here and over there. Why? Why are you doing what you do in your business? So it's easier sometimes to help people look at big brands that we all know, can you all see, and think about how they have done it and apply it to yourself. I am going to start with some 2 pretty big brands that have a big marketing budget and have been around for a long time, so don't feel pressure. I'll go a little bit smaller too. But so who are you? Super simple. Oreo cookies. What do? We bake delicious chocolate wafer cookies with cream in the middle. Now the why. Anyone have any ideas? Why? Yeah? Exactly, they're delicious. But that's that delicious part that triggers something in you. And it's that why they matter that they're gonna be selling to you. Because that's why you're gonna go buy them, because that delicious does something. They believe in the wonder of childhood, because that sweet treat we got as a little kid, we didn't know money. Money was worthless to us. But when grandma was like, do you want an Oreo? You're like, oh my God, Mom never lets me have these. They have hydrogenated oil. And now you have that feeling. So taking a step back, I have agency, client side. My husband is a creative director at the Martin Agency. He began working on, y'all might remember freecreditreport.com. They're like this band and they sang about really bad credit. So he started writing jingles, even though he was just a copywriter, but he composes music too. So he started writing this stuff, and usually an agency would hire out a music company. But he kind of did it all and was just doing it, and they were producing it. It was all over the television. And I was sitting in my office at Snagajob, and I was hearing, oh, by the way, it was his voice too, because the French-Canadian actor had an accent. And they didn't want to buy fancy, SAG talent. So I was I'm hearing my husband's voice. I'm listening to this song, what are we missing? And I did a deep dive into the music industry, and we created a music company. And now we can collect on music royalties, and we can actually structure contractual agreements with agencies. So his music career has kind of been what he's been known for as a creative director, even though he's just a writer by trade. So I give you all that background because next comes a commercial that I'm gonna push play in 1 second. When you are given as a creative trying to help market your information, you really need that why from your client. So it doesn't matter how big or small your company is, that why, for Elizabeth, when she's writing PR, that why is what she moves with into the world to share. So this is an example of taking that why and creating a television spot. Let's see if this works. Oh, hold on. I don't even know how to pause it. Well, and it could be me singing it, but just not nearly as good. And if he was here right now, I'd make him sing it. That's when it gets good. Okay, there, what word? It's okay. Oh wait, I wonder if this turned off. No. No, we try? Anyway, sorry. Wonder if I gave an Oreo to the... I'm not really going to torture y'all the whole thing.
Hold on. This is connected. Come on.
Anyone good with a Bose speaker? just giving that example of how the why can be used to create creative. So in marketing, once we get to all that glittery tactical stuff, you have to put something out there that people pay attention to. And yes, you want a big call to action, click here, learn more if you're selling stuff, but why pay attention to you instead of all the other bajillion retailers out there? So Wonderfeld is the campaign, and that is their why. They are telling you, we are Wonderfilled. If you eat us, you will be too. Like, it's the message that they're relaying. Another biggie, easy, Nike. They make awesome sports gear, and they make tools. Okay. Well, they want to help active people engage in life. Okay, so that's technically, yeah, what they do. But are you going to go get Nike because of it? No. So what they're really doing is saying, I believe in you. Like, you have an inner athlete in there no matter what you're doing. When you're picking up your kids from carpool, it is freaking hard. I'm going to put on my Nike. Like, I need to armor up for that stuff. So this next commercial is just, I believe, beautiful and gets right to the heart of what Nike wants you to know about them.
Greatness, it's just something we made up. Somehow we come to believe that greatness is a gift reserved for a chosen few, for prodigies, for superstars, and the rest of us can only stand by watching. You can forget that. Greatness is not some rare DNA strand. It's not some precious thing. Greatness is no more unique to us than breathing. We're all capable of it. All of us.
I just like that, especially talking to a group of entrepreneurs and small business. You do hard work every day. You are the dreamers and the believers that your idea, that thing you do, that you actually can't not do it. Like, you didn't start your own business because it was easy and fun. Like, maybe a little fun, but not easy. You do it because what you bring to the community, to the world, that energy that you're providing everybody, it is necessary. You can't not do it. So I just want to make sure that you guys have tools to make sure you're doing it awesome. Like being the best small business, representing yourself, and getting to this why, the message that connects you to that business prospect, the message that, like, the random person that ended up on your website because they got to your Instagram that they heard about from the friend, like, make sure when they get there, they stay and click to the next page, or they tell a friend about it who then comes and looks. So just do it. Keep doing it, by the way. And then here, bringing it down to Studio 2-3, I got introduced to them and initially just started popping in for like a 2-hour-long strategy session, working with Ashley and her team with simple stuff like, hey, show me your logo. And they spread out a table of 37 logos. They're artists. They have new logos all the time. I was like, oh my God, those are amazing. We need one. Maybe in 2 formats. When you start to build this brand consistency and really start to establish yourself, you need that same consistent message. So in order, anytime anyone sees this logo, it represents you. It represents who are you. We're a space for private and communal art interaction, and we're gonna create some community. And what do? We provide access to get in here and try stuff and talk to people who are already doing it, who are getting ready to try something else. And I want you to see this one logo and think of that every time. But to the why Studio 2-3 exists, besides Ashley's really good at hard work, and all you other Studio 2-3 peeps, we really believe that art matters, and that creativity and emotion and connectivity can come through art, especially in a communal environment, and giving people access to the tools, whether it's a studio or come in and do your printmaking. This is just a place that Richmond needs. We go out into the world in their truck, and it just matters. So this is taking a small nonprofit that could easily be you guys' business up here too, but just wanting to show it's not just Nike and Oreo that are doing this. When you're doing good marketing, you're telling the why. You're owning your why. This next video was recently shot. It's just the front snippet of it, but it's great. Am I too far? Oh, I'm going back. So we spent some time trying to figure out how to tell people quickly what that why is. And that why is because here you can find that thing you love. Like, we all want to do stuff we love. All day long we have to do stuff we don't love, but we got to do it anyway. So when you can go somewhere to find that thing, that new thing that turns you on, that gets you excited, that makes you dig deeper into the thing or to yourself, it's pretty important. So that's a pretty happy why for me. So why do you matter? Taking the time now, especially after being at something like this, where what we are all doing and the importance we have in our community is reinforced by other people doing the hard work with us, is really important. So we're going to get down into some tactics that can help you start doing the why, as well as start doing some of the marketing stuff, the art and science, that you know you need to be doing to represent yourself in the community. And you need to connect your why, so you got to spend that time up front to figure it out. So that business plan that you may or may not have, I really think they're a great, easy way to use as a working document for you to be like, okay, what have I actually done? What was I clueless about and did not work and should like take out of there forever? What did I not know was an opportunity that I am like nailing? Using that as this working document, a place for you to like, it's almost like journaling. You can like record, keep your versions, right? But I encourage you, and now you have like your art and science head on when you're looking in marketing is less like annoying. You're like, yes, I do love art and science and I love myself. So from here, look at your audience, like profiling out your audience. Who is using your service? Who is not using your service? Who might you want to be using your service? And then really connecting those services or products to the ideal audience. I think that you all can like close your eyes. This client was amazing. I wish I had 12 more of them. Like that is something that you can start to do, is really write down that and build out that profile. So you want to make sure that you're not just doing tactics, but you're like reviewing what you're doing and how it worked. This is where all the sciencey stuff starts to get in, and I get a little geeky. I started in direct marketing out in San Francisco at Digitas, and it was all results-based direct marketing. And I did not really like math in college or school or anything, and I love statistical analytical review when it gives me the next thing to do with that thing that I like, is what I've realized. That why is really important to me. Well, if I'm working with a client and they're like, I have, Michael, Google Analytics. I've never looked at it, Michael, and I don't really know how to use it. Get ready to have a big PR release, Michael. I don't know if it's turned on anymore. Like, people, these are your jewels into your business that you have for free. Google Analytics tucked into your website. If it's not attached, people. And they actually provide a lot of courses on how to read it. But reading that stuff and looking at your analytics, even if you're using Squarespace, just at least go look at their minimal analytics they provide. And then going from there, understanding all of your quality metrics. How many of you have thought about what your quality metrics are on and offline? Anybody? Yes, I think so. Good. Quality metrics are one of these things like marketing. They sound all business and scary, but what they help you do is they make you look and say, did this work? Was my effort, my ROI, my return on investment, should I do this again? Yes and no, those quality metrics define it out. So it's gonna look different if you're in a service-based, client come in, how long was that pipeline stream, sitting down with them every meeting was painful because they didn't know their why, and I had a hard time pulling it out of them. What are you trying to help them do? Quality metrics, great, this one was easy. They were in and out. We had a project agreement. We were done. Or my website, I'm driving traffic from this channel. It's converting after 2 clicks. Or I have my bounce rate is 70%. I don't even know what a bounce rate means. There's so many quality metrics that you could be using to help you make little shifts that can make a big difference in your business. And then, again, the people, connecting why to tactics is important because that why that triggers the right person is gonna be getting to you and doing what you want them to do. So people start to run into Instagram issues of I'm doing all this Instagram ads, but it's not really converting to traffic. I'm spending all my time over here because everyone says to use it. That might not be one of your traffic channels that you wanna focus on. As wonderful as it is, you may wanna divert some of that in, stuff to building out good content on your website that can get good organic search results. Which Michael does well too. We were just talking about it. But having stuff there and you know why you're spending your time where you are. So this is where you take your glitter, and by the way, I will say, I am not a designer. I did come up with this by myself, and I feel really good about it. So you take that glitter and turn it into something that is focused power. You're working on this and not that. You have your content plan built out. You're gonna put 2 posts on your website per week, and then you're gonna post them out to your social channels so you know it's efficient with your time. You know all the hard work is going into the website content with Google's giving you credit for. Being smart, because we do not have time to just be playing with the latest glittery thing. And they're wonderful, I will say, so cool that we have so many options that are free, meaning your time, or your agency money if you're working with someone else, but nothing's really for free. So really prioritize that as you start to look. And your brand loyalist, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is build a brand that people recognize, they care about, they know your why, and they have that affinity for it. They're like, oh, I know exactly what they do. They're awesome. And they become your biggest advertising you could ever do. The people who understand and know you and your why that are going out and sharing you, I bet if I were to say, my gut says the majority of your best clients come from referrals. Anybody? Raise your hands. Yeah, because people trust the people, right? You have someone you trust. They have good information that is building that brand, and they're able to express your why sometimes even more than you can. If you have good clients and you're digging into your why, I would highly recommend you taking them out to coffee. Be like, can we just have 30 minutes? I am really doing some introspective work on my brand, and we've been working together, and it's been so awesome. Can I ask you a few questions? Why do you come to me? What is it like to work with me? What do you think my competitors are doing? Those are okay questions to ask, and you will get really good information about yourself that then you can turn in and plug and play where you need it. So this is where I start to get really marketing geeky and excited. Test and learn, try and learn, objective, strategy, tactic, metric, analyze, optimize. These are all words that sound scary, but they are so helpful in you placing energy into what you're doing. Because along with all the actual work you're doing, the making of the donuts, whether your donuts is a service industry or you're selling pants, that's your making of the donuts, but it's also your job to market yourself. And these things, even at high level, even at the highest of high level, if you spend a few minutes thinking about them and go, okay, this month I'm going to really focus on, let's see, I want to spread my awareness with new people, okay? I want to try and get my Google Analytics to have new visits be a little bit bigger than it was last month, okay? So then you're going to think about strategy. What could I do? What could I do? Okay, what do people do? People go to Google because a friend of mine who's an SEO expert, his phrase, Google is God, content is king, organic search is a marathon. We all got to do it together, and that's what you can do for yourself. Google is God, content is king, and organic search is a marathon. But that free user, that is your truly free user. Granted, you spend a lot of time, but it's valuable stuff on your website about you. It's an investment in you that Facebook, when they crash, all that time you spent on Facebook, it's gone! You guys, you could spend your time on you and still be around. So take that strategy. I'm going to do 2 new articles every month and try and put my keywords, because you will have thought about what it is that people are searching around. There's keyword tools, but instinctively, you guys been in business a little bit, you know what people are coming to you for. So, okay, my high-level strategy, I'm going to increase content. So then we get into tactics. So I'm going to do my blog post, and then I'm going to take my blog post, and I'm going to share it on these things, and then I'm going to see if I can get someone to put it on their website, like maybe like someone similar industry, but like a complementary, like an influencer sphere. I love some influencer sphere marketing. We talked a little bit about it today in Elizabeth's PR. Especially if you're B2B, your influencer sphere is your #1 go-to. Your LinkedIn, your complementary services. I mean, these people, you should be, they should be where you are spending your time, reminding them of the services you provide, passing off your clients that could have their services, really building out that network and strategy, huge. Metric, so know what you're trying to do. More awareness, okay, we talked about, look at that Google Analytics. Last month, you were at 41% new visits. Look, this just new to blog posts, that's the only variable you can think of you did different. You're up to 50% new. That's a new awareness. Now you're going, okay, maybe this content thing is real. Maybe I should try a little bit more of it. And then analyze. And there are things you're going to do that aren't going to work. And those are almost sometimes a relief. You don't want to get rid of them forever, because as your business changes, you'll want to try it again. But for a while, like, there's enough to do on your plate to be spending energy at stuff that you're seeing doesn't work. I had one of my clients, she really wanted to do paid advertising. Really, really wanted to do some paid Google ads. Like, okay, we can do it. We did it. Why? I'm only getting clients that are, $300 clients. I'm looking for, $1,300 clients. And I'm like, well, it looks like our quality of the traffic we're driving is not your desire. Remember that profiling target audience component? We want these people who really need us. And so we pulled the Google ads, which were expensive, and upped her organic search content and upped her B2B networking, and it was like hand over fist. She was like, why were we doing that? I was like, I don't remember. Why were we doing that? But you got to try that stuff to know that all the glitter may not be right for you right now. And so test and learn is key. If I learned anything from the world of direct marketing, is that test and learn is a really nice, gentle way to try new stuff. If you have any questions, I'm happy to chat more about this. But getting into the profiling, so really your audience. I love writing, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more as we go, but I think you can write your way to brand affinity. Truly writing details, create stories of these people that you know you can help. Like, make them come to life. Like, you truly can create this stuff in your life. I believe it. I have done it. I have seen people do it. And taking the time of really knowing who you can help and who you want to work with, because we spend a lot of time working. Let's at least do it with people we think are awesome. And so I am a big, big fan. So just read it. Create the story of your ideal audience. What's their home life like? What do they do during the day? What's challenging or easy for them? What are their physical engagement with the world? Are they like at home a lot because they have kids and they're in nap prison? Been there. Or are you like out in the world and going meeting to meeting and barely even have time to get back to emails, and at night you like shut your computer because it's so daunting? Like, there are things you can build out to understand how what you have can help that person. And then again, who is influencing them? B2B is easy to kind of look at, but B2C has great influencer networks too, especially as you get deep into what you're helping with. So find the who and the what through the why. Okay, so these people, and I think I already spoke to this, but they have these needs. So for Oreo, the people buy and share Oreos to make people smile, because it's like, you get that why in and of yourself, and it makes you feel mentally good when you put on your Nike stuff. And Studio 23, like, it is that place where you want to go and figure out how art can help you emotionally deal with life or make it or help others. Like, it's just the place that you want to be because it feels real. And these are just good examples of that who are you, what do you do, and why does it matter? So, life is multi-sensory. Isn't that good, exciting too? Yes, wake up, people. So what I want to leave you with today gets into that multi-sensory component. And it's going to start by creating some goals through the power of writing. I've been taking a class, I have to tell you, a nonfiction writing class with this amazing woman in town named Valley Haggard, and she's kind of like ripped open this piece of me, and so y'all are getting a little of that right now, but it's real. The power of writing is real. So this is research. They did, a psychology professor did a study, and these were her terms, not mine, but clearly it's all about marketing. Art and science of goal setting. Yes, even Jim earlier today was talking about goals. I'm sure a lot of people you've heard today have talked about goals. Okay, so they took 267 men and women, like all different occupations, and they took them in two groups, writers and non-writers. And they had them, they did not specify the extent length of the survey, but the research was saying that it takes about 7 days to actually start honing in. So, 42% more likely to reach goals and dreams if you write that shit down. Like, we all went to school, we have pens, even if you're gonna put it in your phone. Like, here's why. This is where we get multi-sensory. This is interesting to me. Art and science, I tell you, it makes marketing so much more fun. So the right hemisphere is your art, okay? So that's your thinking. I'm thinking about it, it's creative, it's juicy. Okay, now writing is left, and that is your sciences. That's your analytical, your logic. The sheer act of thinking and then writing creates a conscious and subconscious. Like, they've studied this. This is real. Like, so easy, right? We all have pens and papers and phones and things to write. I really recommend the handwriting, by the way. Props to Valley. So this, to me, gets so interesting on how we can start to use and figure out our why. So in this research, over here is what they did it on. Personal stuff. And, I mean, do this too. I'm doing it, in the process of doing it. Health and relationship. 7 days, every morning, write down the biggest, boldest dream you can imagine, okay? Health and relationships, love and relationships, vocation, time, money, and time and money freedom. So I took it and translated over here to businesses, right? So let's do the same thing with our small businesses. Let's create that thing we dreamt of that we're actually in the middle of creating. Let's create it better, tighter, bigger, bolder, ours, for you, doing good in the world. So dream out those clients and customers in that profiling exercise and put it on this, make like a 7-day workbook, put it wherever you need to. Staff, talent, team, people, hiring. What does that process look like to you? What's your retention plan? What are you gonna do if someone does leave? Brand reputation, this is where you get into that why. Like, when people see your logo, what do you want them to feel? That is your brand reputation. That thing that makes them move, that engages them. And time and revenue, because we don't got a lot of anything right now, right? We got a lot of stuff to do, and hopefully the money's come in. Big and bold goals. I want to work. Okay, podcasts. I'm addicted to Tim Ferriss. I am. I think he's fantastic. He interviews such interesting people. But he got originally known for the 4-hour work week. So if that's your goal, like figure it out. And his book is really interesting. It like literally tells you step by step how to only work 4 hours a week. I have not figured that out yet with 4 kids. He is single. I think he cheats. But to this point, these big and bold goals, like they are real. If you know that you start writing this down and you're 42% more likely to make those big and bold goals happen. Now here it gets even a little bit better. They didn't have a percentage on this, but if you share these big and bold goals with someone who believes in you, spouse, friend, business partner, team, they like substantially lift. That 42% goes up. So these are such easy things. They take that hard work of taking the time for yourself. It's that hard stuff. And even in Tim's book, he talks about once he kind of got to his 4-hour work week, he was like, what the fuck do I do with my time now? Like we spend so much time thinking about how to do this action-oriented thing that we forget, like what are we into? Do you like art? Do you like science? Do you like your spouse? I mean, there's so much that we forget to think about every day, and taking the time to do this for yourself, for your business, like why not? It's right here, it's available. So that is it. I am happy to take questions. I can go back to slides if there are ones you wanted to talk about specifically. We have like 18 minutes-ish, or we can just go drink. Yes. Yes. I mean, that is so significant. Like we should literally take time right now and just start writing. Like this stuff makes a difference. And one of these things is as I've been growing my own writing practice, and I will tell you, my husband is a paid writer for the Martin Agency, has had an entire career. English Major LLC is the name of our company. And I was always like, oh, he's the writer. He's the writer. Finally, I'm like, wait a second, I'm a writer. And he's like, I've told you that the whole time. But I never wrote it down. I never thought, what does this mean to me? Is this valuable to me? What could I do with it? What do I want to do with it? It could be scary to share stuff. But if you're looking at goals, I can make a really good goals list. I love helping clients do that too. Like when you sit down with your client, they know they need help, but everything's so glittery, they don't know where to start. They're just like drowning, you know? So whether you're doing it for yourself or you start using this in your own business and sitting down, CPA, right, Gary? You were like, how do you take that natural translation of what you do and easy speak and help them understand what their financial goals are in like an everyday reason, and that's why your services are beneficial to them. Like really using this in all different ways for whatever, where there's a guy in our last thing who was made custom furniture. Like, how cool is that? I don't even know where I'd begin with custom furniture, but I can tell you I need some furniture because my kids have torn up my house. But this is just one of these things that I think if we take a little time to look at ourselves can really make a big difference. Questions? More questions? Yes.
On the big and bold, are we supposed to, you said over 7 days, so like over 7 days, I should have something for all.
Great question. Yes. So 7 days, I would start with one or the other list for right now. And what the research shows is that every day you know more about what you want. What started out fluffy and a little like, oh, everybody, everything, glitter, turns into the self-corrected writing exercise that pulls it out of you, this subconscious piece of you that is like good and knows all the answers, but you still have to go to the shrink for a while because they need to tell you what you just said. Like this is that type of thing where you are taking those tools that are inside of you and pulling them out yourself. And at the end of the 7 days, your answer will look different. I have not completed my 7 days, but I am going to. I just think that this type of stuff, and that's why I was reading this for personal stuff, and I was like, holy smacks, like every business owner needs to be doing this. And we can. Like without any of my like objective, strategy, tactic, metric, blah, 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 without any of that, this you can do. You know who you want to help, and you know this will get you to that why. This will get that message cleaner and clearer so you have that quick elevator pitch. And so many people struggle with that like What do you do? Well, that kind of should be easy. But if you can start translating the why in the what as you talk, it's a whole new ballgame.